Hello, I'm Chief Sherry Harris of the Kirkland Police Department, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to introduce you to our expanded School Resource Officer program. The passage of Proposition 1 last year has allowed us to make several enhancements to public safety and community services, including to expand our School Resource Officer program into our Kirkland Middle Schools. School Resource Officers will begin at Finn Hill Middle School, Kirkland Middle School, Kamiakin Middle School, the International Community School, and Emerson K-12 on January 6th. I want to thank all of the voters that supported the Proposition 1 ballot measure that passed in November of 2018. The School Resource Officer program is a partnership between the Kirkland Police and the Lake Washington School District, and they serve many roles in our schools, including they help keep students physically, socially, and emotionally safe at school. They build positive relationships with students. They help students receive needed services and divert at-risk students from the criminal justice system. Not everyone is familiar with the work that school resource officers do, so I wanted to address 3 frequently asked questions. Our contract with the school district explicitly states that school resource officers are not to get involved in school discipline. School resource officers do not collect information about immigration status as a regular part of our work, and we do not share information with immigration and customs enforcement. The Kirkland selection process for school resource officers is rigorous. All of our school resource officers are experienced officers and have received training from the National Association of School Resource Officers. Additionally, our officers continue to receive training to ensure that they stay informed of national best practices. If you have any questions about our School Resource Officer program or would like one of our officers to visit your group or organization, there will be contact information provided at the end of this video. I'd like to now introduce 5 of our school resource officers and give them the opportunity to share more information about themselves and our school resource officer program.
Okay. Hi, I'm Rob King. I'm a Kirkland police officer, and I'm assigned as the school resource officer at Lake Washington High School.
My name is Sergeant Eric Karp with the City of Kirkland Police Department, and I'll be assigned as the school resource officer for the International Community School.
Hi, I'm Tyler Davidson. I'm the school resource officer for JUANITA High School here in Kirkland, Washington.
I'm Officer Daniel Lubke. I'm with the Kirkland Police Department. I'll be a school resource officer at Finn Hill Middle School.
Hi, I'm John Ness. I'll be a school resource officer at Kirkland Middle School.
Hello, my name is Mark Brown. I'll be the new school resource officer at Kamiakin Middle School. Hola, me llamo Mark Brown. Voy a ser el oficial de policía para la escuela secundaria de Kamiakin.
So I've been employed by the Kirkland Police Department for 14 years now, and I've been assigned as a school resource officer. This is my 9th year working in the schools. So I find a lot of value in the school resource officer program, and I'm glad that the voters have voted to extend that program to middle school. So I think having the program where it expands down to younger kids, they'll realize that officers are just, you know, a brother and a husband and a dad and, you know, a son of somebody else, and we're just regular people like anyone else, and the kids see us as just being human. And at the elementary school, police are pretty novel. Kids enjoy us going around, we hand out stickers and pencils, and it's all fun, which is great. But then at the middle school, we start to lose some of our coolness factor. So having an officer where you can have those interactions and build those relationships really creates that bond, and it sustains that through the developmental years where they might think authority figures are not as cool or not as approachable, and we maintain that. And that way there's a healthy respect of, these are people that I know what they're like, I respect them, but I also could relate to them, and they joke around and they wear candy on their uniforms, or, you know, whatever goofy things. They get to have those interactions, and then they move to the high school and there's an officer here, and then that relationship's already established, and now you get to develop that through 4 years and just be an influence where the kids will listen to me because those relationships were developed from a very young age.
I've been a police officer for the City of Kirkland for the last 13 years. I grew up in outside Redmond, so I attended middle school and high school in Lake Washington School District as well. It's going to be just like going back to high school, I think. So just meeting the kids. I have a long history of helping out with kids and mentoring kids. I did an internship through college where I got to help mentor high school kids. So and I have 4 kids of my own. So it's just helping out and impacting the lives of young people is something that's important to me. I just want to make sure that kids are being safe and that they're able to make good decisions and be successful in life. So I'm just looking forward to this new chapter. So the process to become a school resource officer is we do an oral board interview process with a panel of people. Also, officers end up doing a presentation, like a graded presentation, just to see if they can have good public speaking skills, because some of the things that school resource officers do is give presentations, right, or lectures and things like that. They're able to act as a guest speaker in the schools. So that's another thing that we look at. And then we also look at previous job performance, right? We want to make sure that we're putting people that have the right skill set and the right mentality into schools to be a school resource officer, because it is kind of a unique position. So all of our school resource officers, they go through specialized training in preparation for being assigned in the school. So they at least have a 1 week certification program that they go through, and then we also will just do ongoing training for them. Another thing about our school resource officers is most of them have been officers for several years. So these tend to be more experienced officers that have had all the basic training that like a normal patrol officer's been, but then they just get that additional training just to help them in function and succeed in the school environment.
I've been a school resource officer this is my 4th year now here at the high school. And I've been with Kirkland Police Department for about 13 years now. Yep, I have a family and I have pets. I am from Edmonds, Washington. I'm locally born and raised, and I've got a wife and I've got 3 kids. I went to Meadowdale High School, so I'm very local to this area. I am a resource, I guess, for kids and teachers and as well as parents. Help them with issues they have going on with their kids at home that transitions into school stuff. Generally, I just like to say I'm a great resource for whoever needs help with helping these kids guide throughout their high school years. I really enjoy this job as a school resource officer. It's been the most memorable experience as a law enforcement officer so far. I get involved with so many kids' lives, and it's just been a pleasure to work here in the school.
I've been with Kirkland Police Department for 8 years. Most recently, I am a supervisor on our swing shift. Before I worked for Kirkland Police Department, I worked for King County Jail as a corrections officer. Before that, I was a teacher. I'm looking forward to engaging with the students, being a positive role model for them for law enforcement. Sometimes people engage law enforcement in different ways, and it's not always the best way. I always like to tell people that sometimes I'm not there on the best day of their lives, but here I can be there at the school for them just to come and chat and say hi, engage us in a positive way. I grew up in Shoreline, but my dad also owned a house here in Kirkland, about 6 blocks away from Kirkland Middle School. I went to college in the area. I went to the University of Washington, where I got an undergraduate degree in English Literature and Language. And then I got a master's degree from the University of Cincinnati in criminal justice. I am a cat guy. I have a lovely family. My wife's a nurse. I have 2 young boys, one who's 2, one who's 4, so they're little nightmares and terrors, but they're great little kids. And then I have 2 what we call our fur babies, 2 little cats that follow us all around. Any parents of any of the students here, I want them to know that I'm approachable if they have any questions or concerns about me being here, or my interactions with the kids, or they just have questions on their own. My role here is to be an open source of information for anybody and everybody.
I've been a police officer with Kirkland Police Department for 2.5 years. I've been a patrol officer the entire time, and before that I was also a patrol officer at Tuckwell. I've been a local boy my entire life. Grew up in Puyallup and went to college at Pacific Lutheran University. I grew up in a family of teachers, so I'm around the schools, and felt it was a good opportunity for me to really kind of come down, connect with kids in a little bit better way. When I'm not a police officer and I'm just normal, average, everyday Dan Lupke, I like playing video games. I enjoy watching sports. I'm a homer when it comes to professional teams, whether it's the Seahawks, the Sounders, the Mariners. If you're a parent, you can definitely come up to me, talk to me, shake my hand. I enjoy people coming and meeting me, as I'm not the person that wants to stand off in the corner and not be noticed. I want to be out in the open with everyone and be completely transparent with you and with your student. And any point, my office will be open in order to go ahead and talk.
I've been with the Kirkland Police Department for just about 17 years, come this March. I've been a detective for the last 8.5 years with the police department. Prior to that, I was a patrol officer for about 8 years. And prior to that, I worked at King County Jail as a correction officer. And then I was a police support officer before that with the city of Kirkland. I've also worked for the Issaquah School District as a paraeducator. I have done many different types of jobs with the police department. One of the jobs that I wanted to do in my career was be a school resource officer. I love kids, I love the idea of education, and a previous desire of employment, I wanted to be a teacher. I do speak Spanish, I've worked very hard with that, and I think the opportunity to work in law and then also work with the school, and then also work with people that are all about children as well. I am from the area, I grew up in Bellevue, Washington. I attended Sammamish High School and I graduated in '87. I have been married for 27 years. My wife's name is Erica. We have 6 children. Age ranges from oldest to be 24 to youngest being 6. We live out in the Snohomish area. We've been here for a long time, married 27 years. It's a great area to grow up in. I am very excited to meet all the kids. I'm very excited to meet all the teachers and all the administrative staff here. I am a Husky. I did attend University of Washington, but I'm also excited to be a Cougar. And I cannot wait to celebrate your successes with you.
In my 9 years of working as a school resource officer, I've seen kids that were kind of on the fringe and you think, well, I'm not sure if they're gonna make it. And you just rally around them and you just support them. And whether they get that at home or in the community, it doesn't matter, because when they come to school, I know who they are. And I take time out of the day to acknowledge them and say, you're here and I know you're here and you matter to me. And those are the things that make the kids feel like school is their home and they want to be here. And if they're here, they're in class and they're passing class and then they graduate. And I've had kids where they're the first in all their family to graduate high school. And that's a win for me. That's the part that's super rewarding, is to see that program, encourage them and bring them in and get them to be the best person they can be and achieve things and graduate high school and be the first to go to college. And that's super rewarding.